Right, hello and welcome to Garblag Games Masters and Monsters Mage the Ascension game.
Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of Masters and Monsters, the Garblag Games Mage the Ascension show. Welcome, I'm Pete, I'm not the Games Master. In a minute we will go round and everyone will say who they are and who they're playing or what they're doing here. But before we do, please don't forget to go and check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Please also check out our Discord. We've got more people going on there and we're having some cool conversations about various different things. Mostly role-playing, some wargaming, and we have a special room for our patrons to talk to our cast and crew of our shows. So please don't forget to go and check out our Patreon. See the subtle link there? That was good.
Subtle? It's subtitle, I mean.
We have some awesome patrons who we now put a thank you message into our videos for, which you may have just seen. They are helping us to make this better for everybody else. Everyone who supports us allows us to get new gear, new kit, new equipment, keep this going, pay for the website, pay for the hosting and all those wonderful things. So thank you very much for supporting the channel if you do. We also have the Black Road ZweihanderRPG setting available on DriveThruRPG for $2.99, Roger, as we
After
I
you said
got it a bit wrong on the
200.
Facebook Live earlier on today. I said
$299.
It's like, yeah, it's not $299, not yet.
That would be a bit pricey.
Although as it grows, maybe.
That'd have to be a big PDF.
That is a
Are
big
you trying to match like the Zweihander core rulebook? Like that thick.
Thomas is still the
And
biggest,
that's just a
though.
PDF.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, go and check that out as well. It's been fun making that. Some of the guys have played in the setting before. It's dark and gritty. Let's put it that way. Which is why it's in Zweihander.
You're still adding to it, are you?
Yep, added to it last week. So we added a bit more about the 5 cities. Pop that in there. We've had a little week off from that because I'm preparing to run a game at Gamesfest, which I'm probably doing right now as this episode is going out on YouTube, as it should be Saturday when this goes out. Running a Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay game at Gamesfest using the Abandoned Tavern map, which we gave out to our patrons recently. Anyway, I think that's enough plugging and all that kind of crap. So let's get on with some role playing. So we shall begin.
Right, I'm Sam and I'm the storyteller.
I'm Colin. I'm playing Captain Rufus William Foxmere, the very English occasion brother.
I'm Adam. I'm playing Abe Cohen, the member of Society of Ether.
I'm Roger. I'm playing Private Wrong McDougal, the Canadian Verbena,
The Mountie.
ex-Mountie, now soldier.
Okay.
And his dog.
And my, of course, dog, Holly.
I'm Pete, as I said earlier on, and I'm playing Jeremy Cranthorne, accountant and Order of Hermes mage, who's recently had his foot healed,
Right.
which was an emotional moment for him.
Which he dealt
Adam,
with
did
a
you want
stiff
any more
upper lip.
wine?
Right, shall we bring out Prop the First, if we have Prop the First?
Prop
Oh,
the first.
props.
Ooh.
Hello!
We are, I can't take credit, man. Adam did this one. Right, so,
I thought you said the first, because there's obviously more.
no, there's just that one pretty much. But, you know, there
As
may
in,
be others.
as in the whole show, you know,
Yeah, maybe
in a
others,
later
you
episode.
never know.
We've got
So-
like maps of London.
We have a map.
We do have a map. We left our characters about to head to see Harry.
Yes.
So to save the bit where you all tell Harry what happened, which I don't think any of us can face, where you tell Harry the entirety of the last day and a half.
Yes.
So what we're going
Kind
to
of
do,
a recap.
yes, we could do a little bit of a recap, but we don't need to tell Harry verbatim everything. I don't think we'll be
No.
here all night. So we're going to cut to about an hour later in Harry's study. Someone has found you dinner, and Abe has been explaining about some of the intel he gathered from the technocracy about the quartet of Nephandic mages in Europe that they are currently concerned about.
Yes.
I'm excited.
And I hope you have a blackboard in the room. So.
Oh, wicked. Hold it up a little bit higher. Would you want me to hold it?
I can't see that.
You pass it over here.
And then Adam can explain.
I'll hold it.
Well, Abe can
Here we
explain
go.
it. Actually, why don't I hold it?
No. Here we go.
A little bit more tools, Roger. Yeah, there we go.
Right. Okay. So I was talking to sort of the.
Now hold it there for the whole episode.
Mary Conistal, who's sort of one of the heads of the technocracy that we're working with in England.
Rufus and Ron have no idea who that person may or may not be. Jeremy's probably heard her name mentioned.
Okay.
Anyway, she split her up. I was talking to her about something else, but while I was talking to her, I asked her if there's anything else I should know. And she gave me, like I say, I've talked before about the fact that these these fallen mages, are working for, the Axis forces, and they seem to be working together, which these guys don't tend to do. They tend to be a bit too working for different masters, a bit too, confused themselves. So, anyway. The one we know most about is Francis Gilbert. He's the head of this project in Norway that we're going to go and see. He used to be a member of the Order of Hermes. He fell about 50 years ago, apparently. But when he went, he nicked a bunch of premium. I think what else was he part of? It was...
he was doing some dodgy stuff.
He was doing some dodgy stuff
Even
anyway.
when he was an Order of Hermes.
He murdered
mage.
his own
Yeah.
apprentice.
Yeah,
and
all the, younglings and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
the
good.
younglings.
Not good.
But yeah, he's British, but he's a member of the sort of Order of Hermes that have been normally a bit known for, mystic
The
circles
dodgy
and
ones,
stuff.
not the good ones.
But
All of them.
he was a bit more modern. He did stuff with technology and stuff, which is why I took all this met with him and why he's dealing with these bomb projects. We've talked a lot about him. We've got a bullet with his name on, that kind of stuff, and he's got an apprentice in Norway that we're going to go and hopefully.
We've got a bullet with his name on a length of iron we've been tasked with planting in his core.
Yes, indeed.
But I thought I should just let you know about these other three, just in case we come across them. So,
If we come across
Where
any
we-
of them,
where
I
are we
think
going
the
first?
answers.
we're going to go right from
I'm
Francis.
going to go over here.
Yeah, to the unknown New World Order, which is one
Ooh.
of the parts, one of the conventions of the technocracy.
Right.
The idea behind them is that they want to improve the world in various different ways.
They're information brokers and shadow conspiracists, says Harry, and people that like to put pressure on mortal affairs and influence sleepers through the tools of government.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice guys.
Well, they've often had dodgy plans, but the idea behind them, they was to make just society better. They were a lot behind sort of equality and education. Was a lot of them pushing that kind of stuff, for instance.
Okay.
They did do some
Evil bastards.
They did do some
Equality in
faintly-
education.
They did do
Outrageous.
some faintly useful things.
Well, at
says
some
Harry,
level,
but-
like education for all.
But for a purpose, to an ultimate end.
Yeah.
well,
'cause they
to
were
educate
to
people
a
in
certain-
the consensus and enforce
Yeah.
our realities out of
Yeah.
the world. So, yes.
But yeah, to a certain extent, they have some good ideas. No, they're not all bad. Anyway, this one's all bad. We don't know his name or her name. We do know he's close to, your Goebbels, your Hitlers, those kind of elements.
Your Hitlers.
So he's probably in
All
Berlin.
of them?
He's probably in Berlin, we assume.
Yeah. As far as we
Sorry.
know, he is natively German, is where he was born, but he worked for many years in DC, Washington DC, with groups there before the war. But he did at some point fall and wander back over to his homeland, and was possibly, we think, part behind the whole fascist rise in Germany. We're not sure. He also had ideas that the rest of the technocracy didn't agree with.
Oh dear.
He's working with other people. He's obviously fairly entrenched. The other one that we know of is, again, going to the sort of bottom left if you're looking at it.
This one here?
Yeah. Again, I don't know the names. Unfortunately, Francis Gilbert's the only person we know the name of. This one's necromancer, been positioned in Italy and North Africa for quite a long time, but lots of dealing with dead and raising the dead people up, and also with your extra-dimensional dimensions. So the idea is
Ghosts.
Harry says, ghosts.
Ghosts or wraiths, or some tend to call them. But when people die, sometimes part of the sort of bit of them is left behind, and sort of ends up on this other plane. It's a reflection, or it's part of them. People, opinions different. I don't know that much
Harry
about it.
says can be deeply tragic or catastrophically dangerous.
They can wander back
Or
across,
both.
and that's where you get your ghost stories from, where they start smashing stuff about, or scaring in the middle of the night. Anyway, he deals with a lot of that kind of stuff. He's originally Italian. He's apparently based somewhere in the North Africa, Morocco, that sort of area. I'm not quite sure where. He does seem to be doing. There's this group of vampires. Again, I don't know much about your vampires, but there's apparently a group of them called the Giovanni that are based in Italy, and they deal with a lot of this similar sort of stuff. And he's an associate of theirs. He's not directly allied with them, but he apparently he works with them off and on, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem to get on that well with most other Nefandi because he doesn't work with. He's not, strictly speaking, a servant. Now, Nefandi normally serve one of these very powerful, very foreign, extra-dimensional entities, like an evil being that lives like in another plane, sort of so far away they can't.
Like a demon?
Some sort of darkness from the outer horrors. Yes, let's call them demons.
Yeah, but a bit more or less relatable than a demon.
But they're almost definitely where a lot of the demon stories come from.
Yeah.
So yes, something extraplanar and evil.
Yeah, most of them are kind of coerced by one of those, and then they kind of fall when they sort of give up their soul to one of those, basically. Now, he didn't do that, or she didn't do that, from what we know. But he seems to be working with a few of them, but mostly seems to have a plan to become one of them, somehow. He must seem to be working wraiths.
So small plans, then.
Yeah. Now, the other one we don't know if they're...
Well, if you're going to end the world, you've got to have a plan what to do afterwards.
So we're talking bottom right. We don't know technically if this person's actually an Nefandi, if they've actually gone through the whole
process,
avatar destroying bit. Well, we do know they're pretty unstable. They were originally from Russia or Georgia. Their village was massacred by the Axis forces, we believe, and lots of atrocities were performed there. That seems to have caused them to go very much off the deep end. They seem to be working with these other three some of the time, but we're not sure if they're actually an Effendi, strictly speaking, technically talking. They seem to, whenever they come across, they just seem to attack indiscriminately, basically both sides, all like troops and other kind of things. We've got, like, say, some communication from them talking to these other guys and maybe sort of coordinate what they're doing, but they mostly just seem to be a force of nature at this point, which is why I put Marauder up at the top, because Marauders are the one that are mages that have lost connection with reality so much that they don't really even count
Harry
mages anymore.
says yes, for our newer inductees, if one of our kind truly loses their mind, it not only can destroy them, it can literally warp reality around them. And if you like, reality itself becomes prey to their delusions.
Great.
Right.
Also, your side effects, or paradox, if you like to call it, they don't suffer from it because it kind of just throws on any nearby.
So it like bounces off them.
Yes, i.e. and hits us, for instance.
Yeah, that's the main danger of doing any magic
Marauders.
near them. If they do stuff, and it's obviously going to cause your side effects, it's going to hit people nearby rather than them. It just kind of bounces off them. Might be one of those, might not be, we don't know.
And sleepers can get caught up in them. I mean, when I was a young man, I helped clear out one who, in St. Petersburg actually, it was happened, who'd become obsessed with the ballet. He'd been in love with a dancer and she'd passed away. And he effectively captured this small opera house as his corner of reality, and any sleeper that wandered nearby was dragged into his delusion and believed themselves to be either a dancer or an audience member, and he would pull them in, and those dancing would dance until they died, and the ones in the audience would sit there until they died, because they literally were so caught in the delusion they had no idea what was happening to them beyond his constant replay of his love's last dance.
Sounds dangerous.
Yes, they are extremely dangerous. I mean, the only thing is, normally these things tend to be fairly short-lived because reality raises its ugly head, and eventually, at some point, the bubble will crack at some point.
Yeah.
Or they'll just become so caught in their own delusion that they will cease to look after their own health and die. But the more powerful a mage is when it happens, the more trouble you're in as well. It's a very tricky set of circumstances.
I've heard sometimes they spin off their own little dimensions as well.
Yeah, I mean, that happened more in
disconnect entirely from reality.
That happened more in the olden days when there was a bit more dimension going sort of spare. But we're using most of what's here now. Thank you very much. So
like I said, hopefully we won't come across those four. They're all supposed to be very powerful and very nasty, but I feel bad if I was told it and I didn't sort of share it, since we are going into.
And obviously, we don't want them to get their hands on this relic that allows them all to kind of combine their powers more effectively.
Well, exactly,
Yes,
that's probably
that would be
That's the real challenge.
That's probably the plan, you see. So yeah, they might all turn up. So we should probably know, who they are if they do.
Harry says,
So run the hell away.
if they all turn up,
We've lost.
leave if you possibly can, because there is no point trying to fight that. And if you can't, I will see that you're all at least given a posthumous medal. That's about the best I can do at that point. But no, if you suspect there's any more than Gilbert there, go.
We're posthumous.
Yes, well, again, there is a scenario where that's actually the best case scenario of meeting those four. Right, so I've got the things you asked for, Ron.
Excellent.
There are a couple of pallets down in the yard, so someone can put them in a van when you're ready to head off in the morning. We were able to get most things. We've got some
Do you need to
papers.
swing past yours in the morning to pick up the stuff, the artifacts?
Oh, all of them.
Well, at least some of them.
Well, Cranfield, to be fair, is not that far from Bletchley. It would
No.
almost. Harry says if you're going back there tonight, we could pick him up on the way there and the way to
That's a good
Bletchley
idea.
in the morning,
Yeah.
and then just bring whatever you need. Harry
That
says
box.
we've also got some Norwegian papers for you. They are, I will be honest, bad. They're all right for a casual inspection. They're not going to stand up to anything else. And the fact that none of you speak accent-free Norwegian is probably also not going to stand up to a particularly close inspection.
Right.
But it should help ward off any nosy sleepers. It's not
I
going to
can-
help with an
I can
offending
help with
zone
that.
agents. Exactly. You have means of
I'm
doing
told I
these
sound
sorts
more
of...
German than anything when
Well,
I
that-
speak Norwegian.
Might not actually be a bad thing at this
No.
point. But they'll at least they should keep sleeper authorities from asking you too many pertinent questions. They are effectively saying that you're engineers and you've come here to oversee the project effectively. He issues you all papers with, well, the sign is actually the sort of Norwegian puppet government that the Nazis are pretending sort of exists at the moment.
Okay.
Is what they're signed under. He says they won't bear up to any sort of experienced scrutiny, but they shouldn't. Your average local guard shouldn't have too much trouble.
Okay.
So we've got all the things you needed. We've got you all, as I said, additional civvies and things that won't look quite so British.
Right.
Most of you that have got firearms, need firearms, have got them, haven't you, I think?
Might be an idea to switch back to the Luger.
It might actually be a good idea. I kept it for you. It's in the
don't
safe
have
over there.
a firearm at the moment.
Do you want a firearm?
It'd probably be useful, for those last-ditch moments.
Well, tell Miss Collins outside then and she'll put another Luger on the order for the morning. But yes, it might be a good plan. So yours is in the safe over there if you need it back. Alright, I only wish I could come with you. I'm going to come and drop you at Bletchley. Due to various issues, it's probably best if I don't go in. I had some historical issues with a couple of them some years back, so maybe best I keep political rather than violent, but probably best I keep out of the way. But yes, I only wish I could do more help. But there's
Plus, a lot of the labs are unstable. I don't know.
exactly yes. I don't really want to collapse.
Harry, old
anybody's
chap, you've helped.
I don't want to collapse anyone else's waveforms.
No, you've helped more than can be expected, and this is, frankly, not sure what to expect.
I don't think any of us are. Right. He will suggest you finish dinner. Dinner is that is prepared for various ministers and their staffs to take when they're in meetings late. Is predictably rather sort of traditional British stodgy affairs. Also allowing for rationing, so there's probably some form of suet pudding going on, I would have thought. Probably beef rather than bacon out of respect for Abe's customs, I suspect. But yes, there is probably some form of suet pudding happening.
Brilliant.
You have no idea why they're eating this thing.
It's amazing.
You're pretty certain you've seen people fill gaps in brickwork with this sort of stuff. It's not food. Really.
I'm glad I ate a lot earlier.
Yes, you ate quite a lot.
To be fair, we've still got the leftovers from.
You've still got leftovers from last session.
Although if we're getting fed here, I'll just take that with me, and we can have something decent to eat in Norway.
Yes.
I'm not sure the cream cakes will last.
I think someone bought Harry a cream cake, didn't they? I think they said they were bringing one for him, so he will happily eat cream cake.
Yes.
Oh, right, lions. Yes, they're strange man.
Strange, indeed.
Seem nice.
Has he vested interest in seeing a certain Nefandus get a enchanted lump of iron through his heart?
I think she killed one of their elders. I think they killed one of their elders back a couple of years back. There was something exploded up there that I think was one of theirs. So he probably wasn't very impressed. I mean, not that they all get on amongst themselves all the time, because they don't, but they don't particularly take very kindly to anyone else trying to kill them.
Has he really not helped till now? Has he really not helped out with the war till now?
A little here and there. The trouble is their influences are very subtle, and sometimes it's quite difficult to know where they helped and where they didn't. So if they didn't want me to know they helped, then I probably didn't.
Okay.
They're very subtle creatures. I used to... That said, I mean,
But
I
they're
used to
probably
know.
subtle until they're not.
Yes, that is also true. And their relatives can be very helpful because they're prepared to admit the existence of magic. They're quite useful to us on occasion. They're human relatives.
Mhm.
Knew one of the daughters of that family when we were younger. Lovely looking relatives of fairies, generally, regardless of gender. So, let us finish dinner. You're going back to Cranfield tonight, aren't you? I hear your assistant isn't terribly well.
Oh, he took a bit of a foolish risk from what I can gather. But I think he's going to be alright. He's just a bit burnt.
Well, occupational hazard to some extent.
Took a bit of a fall and got a bit burnt.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Okay.
He said the man's a pain in the neck sometimes anyway.
I wouldn't say that.
Or maybe it was one of the other guys at your base said that. Someone definitely mentioned pain. In fact, they didn't say pain in the neck, I don't think.
He offers definitely a unique point of view.
Good.
I just
Marvellous.
think you could do with a bit more of a work ethic given the situation.
Probably couldn't hurt. Right, so I'll see you in the morning then, gentlemen.
As I leave, I'm gonna leave my walking stick in the umbrella stand at Harry's door.
Okay.
I'm going to ceremonially set it on fire.
Harry will pass no comment on the issue one way or the other. Right, are you all returning to your various barracks, house?
Yeah.
Does he have a
Military
book on
base.
how to speak Norwegian?
It's probably got a
I have
Norwegian
a quick
dictionary
study.
with some sort of phrases in the front and that kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know, the Collins.
Anything I could take home.
He'll take you a book.
Fetch
he'll
me
lend
a
you-
cup of tea, good chap. How do you say that in Norwegian?
That's what like the idea of you taking it when we get there.
Luckily, Ron.
Hang on.
My hovercraft is full of eels.
Yes, no hovercrafts full of eels. Right. So, but he will, lend you the Collins English to, Norwegian dictionary. So, you all, return to your various places of,
I will
The question is how many of our viewers will even understand that.
We'll see. We'll see. We won't say anything. Comment below.
if you know what the hovercraft full of eels was. Right. So,
I will inspect the stuff that has been arranged for me,
right.
and then take it or have it taken back to the barracks.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, and they will load
I'll
things in a
probably
van in the
also
morning.
check it over because similar kind of mentality.
Yeah,
of making
you'll see
sure
what
that
I've ordered.
Yeah, it's making sure I know what's there,
And where it all
what-
is,
where it
actually,
is,
as well,
etc.
yes.
All this kind of stuff.
So I'm assuming you have kept it to what you think the four of you can realistically carry as well, because, yes.
When you said pallets, I was like, oh,
No, he meant like the small wooden bits, not like the ones they've put lorries on these days.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically got like full military pack for himself, but downed it to what he thinks a normal English civilian could probably manage.
He-
so a briefcase.
And an umbrella.
He's
And the
potentially
latest
all
copy
right
of
with
the Times.
Although,
Rufus
hold
is
on, wasn't
potentially all right.
Rufus injured? Or am I missing?
No.
Oh no, okay, then you'll get a military pack's worth as well.
Yes, although if we're turning up as engineers, I might suggest we rethink how much we're taking.
We can always bury it.
Yeah, you
Can
always watch
we
it when
can
you
we
get
put
there.
it in something that looks a bit more engineering?
Worry about that when you get there in one piece, probably.
Well, actually,
Toolboxes
that's not a bad
and
idea.
sacks
We'll
and
talk to
things, rather
Duff-
than
Yeah,
a rucksack.
If
we
you
could have
talk to the
stuff in.
guys where the vans get parked and stuff, they can find you some of those big cloth tool
Basically,
bags.
I'll be
that you
looking
tend to
for
get in that
duffel-
era.
I'll be looking for some duffel bags we can just
Yeah,
stuff in.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to have a toolbox with a Luger in it. That's all I mean. That's all I want. I want a little scene where you're like, where are your papers?
And you
Are you
take up the
really
second
Norwegian
train.
engineers? I'll just show you my tools.
I thought it was going to be underneath the script. This like the bunch of other tools. And they were going to be slowly shifting through.
Yeah. No.
He does have firearms of one, so it's not a completely
I do.
terrible plan.
You
I
at
know
some point
which
have
end of the
seen a gun.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, I've used a
Did
gun.
basic training,
He's used a gun. He didn't necessarily shoot the enemy with it.
but he did.
He almost hit a bird once.
No, he did the basic military
I
enrollment.
saw something about 4 foot away.
Yeah. Which is about as near as you're hoping any of these guys are going to get. So it's all good. Right. So stuff is inspected on... I mean, you two are only going back to barracks anyway, which is literally a walk down the front of St James's Park, basically, from where you currently are. You go back to Cranfield. Jacob is still in the
Before I go back to
infirmary.
barracks, I'm going to go look at Buckingham Palace. Because I've never seen it, and if I'm going to die, I can at least say I've seen it.
You get shot as a spy for doing so.
No, you can go and look at Buckingham Palace because they didn't keep anything strategic in there.
But there also to be on the lookout for people looking at Buckingham Palace for too long.
Probably getting strange looks from someone sounding foreign asking for directions to Buckingham Palace. But he will have tried to get there.
But your British paper's fairly foolproof, or you could have told him where Buckingham Palace was. Again, you're by St James's Park. It's not hard. It's that big thing over there.
Yeah. Even I know
London's a big place.
It is, but you have Rufus. You can probably work this out between
Not that Rufus is a local Londoner.
No, but
Where's
I'm
Buckingham
certain-
Palace? It's in London.
I'm pretty certain.
that. He just
that
went,
he roughly
it's over
knows.
there.
The end of
That's
the wall
what
is
that
Buckingham
is.
Palace, Buckingham Palace.
Probably work it out.
Right. Yes, you go back to Cranford. Jack's still in the hospital.
Yeah, right. Is he alright, genuinely? Or...
Yeah, he's all right. He's hurt his arm quite bad. He's whinging quite a bit, but he's all right.
I will ask what actually happened, if that's alright. Because, I only got other second-hand statements and stuff, and he might be able to give me a much better magical perspective.
Well, what exactly did you ask?
It's magical.
What exactly did you ask me to do again? I just want to make sure how I know how I was doing that.
I asked you to investigate the... voice can't remember what it was.
Yes, yeah, I did that. So it's definitely
And
on.
you said you looked at it, and I said, couldn't you do a bit more extra dimensional stuff with it, please?
Yeah,
Rather than
I
just,
did. It's definitely
glancing at
on.
it and then getting on with your breakfast.
Yeah, it was definitely on, which is what I
Yeah.
told you. And then you said do more with it.
Uh-huh.
So what I did was
Pretty sure I told you to
Look
take
down the
care of
barrel.
I told Calvin we took them to the firing range because I thought that was sensible. Big clear thing, no one around us.
it. Okay.
Lined up a few targets. It looked like it was juicing up well, so I shot it. And seriously, this thing it obliterated that bit of paper. It was gone.
Right.
Gone. And we're like, this is pretty good. So we decided that also there was a little bit of damage to the back wall. So we decided we're not going to do that in there anymore. So we went out to the rugby
So
field.
we're taking it to explosive range himself, but yeah.
We went out to the rugby field
Why?
because it was empty and there wasn't anybody there and it was a big space.
Right.
So we went to the rugby field.
People exercise there and stuff.
Yeah, but there was nobody there at the time, all right? I checked.
Right.
So took out to the rugby field.
Well, shortly after there wasn't.
Realised actually it can do really quite a long damage, really quite a long way away. I mean, there were trees singeing in the distance, except for there was this one minor problem. It turns out I'm a really bad shot. And so I
Only we had a
tried.
bunch of military personnel about the place, huh?
I tried to shoot something, and I was near that funny. What do they call it? What are this lot? The stupid goalposts with the extra bit.
Oh, yeah.
There was a degree. It turns out it's
It's
not.
still just called the goal, isn't it?
It turns out it's not so good with metal, and there was a degree of ricocheting.
Alright. So, whatever it shoots, is it shooting like an energy bolt? Can you see anything, or do you just pull the trigger and something over there explodes?
It's shooting a Prime Forces energy bolt,
But it's like visible.
but it's not. You can see it, but it's like a slightly pale yellow heat haze. It's not
Right,
very
okay.
visible to the naked eye, no.
And it bounces off.
And it
steel.
bounces off steel. It turns out, yeah.
Does it go to the paint?
Yeah.
Right.
That bit. The paint is gone, man. But yeah, the steel was
The
a problem.
paint is gone. Whoa.
The steel was a problem, and it
Vicious.
kind of ricocheted, and then
Right.
it hit me in the arm. And then I swore at Calvin a lot, and then he went and threw a bowl of water on it, and that did actually help, to be fair, quite a bit. And then he took me to the infirmary,
Right.
and they've now put.
You took the gun back inside, or someone did, yeah?
Yeah, Calvin took it back inside. Then he said he rang you, and you said put it in like the fire and flame retardant box in the corner with the lock.
Yeah.
That I don't know the combination to. And that's where it still is, as far as I know.
Yeah, hopefully it's in the skill box, yeah.
However, I think it's causing damage in the extra-dimensional world as well.
Right.
Because I had a quick peek. It was an empty area there. I'm not a complete idiot. But you could see there was a degree of almost like patinaing where it had hit. The stuff looked very discoloured and like it might have aged as well.
Aged?
Yeah, like flaky, like rust. It's quite strange. It's definitely on.
Take it with us.
It's definitely
Give me the gun!
It's definitely on. It's definitely on.
Aged? I didn't say anything temporal about it.
I'm just telling you what the effect looked like. It's not my fault you're too stupid for dimensional science, so I can't show you.
Burn.
Get that man
I
a
suspect
medic.
the trouble is Abe does
Laser
not...
gun burn.
I suspect the trouble is here that Abe has sets no value by Jacob's opinion whatsoever here. Neither does anyone, to be honest.
Do you reckon it could have, like, destroyed the dimensional echo and that's caused the
I
aging?
think that's probably it, yeah.
Alright.
It's very interesting. It's definitely on, but it definitely didn't do this a few weeks ago.
No.
So I don't know why it's on now, but it's on. Yes. So yeah, I mean it's good. I mean, say the holes in anything organic are really impressive, but metal turns out not his thing. At least in this dimension. It's going through metal in the other dimension, but
Right, okay.
So, if we need to make an epiphandic lord disappear,
Maybe.
Bring the gun.
Alright, we'll take it with us in
they
the
have put
morning.
something that smells of old people on my arm.
Camphor or iodine or?
I don't know. Smells of old people.
Right. Alright. Well, thanks for your efforts.
It's a great descriptive term.
It is.
I'm probably going to be going to Norway maybe tomorrow, or at least not some point rest in the week. So I'm going to
What-
be leaving early in
why?
the morning. Because there's a guy trying to pick up an artifact that could, just allow
Destroy the world.
Oh, we can't.
do lots of horrible things involving people using science and magic together. And he's an
come with
Effendi. No.
Oh, I could probably help.
It's probably best that someone of us stays here to look after the lab.
Yeah, you're right,
and you are
actually.
injured.
Yeah, that's true. I am injured.
And also, they're
Human shield.
also making some sort of heavy water bomb, or at least heavy water experimentation there. So it's probably not really worth. It probably needs to be in some way nullified. So yeah, I'm going
Probably
over there.
not me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going over there to help do that.
Well, don't die. I can't do this here by myself.
Well, you might have to. I'll set stuff in order as much as I can tonight because I don't know when I'll be leaving. I might be here for another week, but I'll set stuff in place. But yeah, you might need to run the lab from tomorrow for an unknown amount of time.
No, I can't. I can't do it.
I'm sure you'll race the challenge.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Don't die though.
It's not my goal, but it's a dangerous situation, so we'll see what happens.
Everybody else has.
I know, but look, I'm sure I'll come back. I'm sure I'll be fine. But gotta make sure take
All right.
care of contingencies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'll leave some notes for you. But try to rest of the arm for a few days. But I'm sure you can do paperwork.
Okay.
Are you left-handed again? I forget.
No.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
All right.
Okay, so I'll get stuff in order as much as I can tonight because I'll be leaving early in the morning. But
Okay.
it might be a bit shoddy.
Okay.
And we're taking an unknown amount of stuff. We're going to look in the morning and see what we're going to take with us out of all of the ongoing items.
All right.
All right, well, it's been fun working with you, Jakob.
You too, boss. He looks decidedly deflated.
Oh.
Right. So,
realised something else that Rufus will be doing.
what else will Rufus be doing?
Rufus will be writing a letter to his family
That's
to leave with Harry.
That's probably a good plan.
Actually, he'll probably be writing 2 letters. One to send,
Yeah.
of a, hi, yes, I'm not dead, I kind of got stuck on the continent for a few years, but...
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good
You got a
news.
dead letter. I know you thought I was dead. I wasn't. Now I am.
and then the one to leave in case I don't come back.
Oh, good. That's not going to
And another one that says, you thought I was dead. I am.
But later than you thought.
Yeah, but just recently.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Harry may or may not hold on to both of those things.
Yes, quite.
Right.
I'll have sent a much more standard one back to Canada of I'm now finally getting to go overseas. I'm going to do my part for the Empire.
Yeah.
I have no one to write a letter to.
No.
Oh, here's a tiny violin. He could probably make you one.
So I'm going to take out a nice big cigar and a brandy and sit by the fire in my home on my own and contemplate dying somewhere in Norway in a giant explosion like the one I've seen in my...
Did you
Mine.
consult your What Would Churchill Do wristband when you got out your cigar and brandy?
Yes, right. So,
We shall fight them on the fjords.
so Jeremy is at home being intolerably British. Right. So,
As he dons the monocle.
Southwest it lost as well.
yes. Anyway. So you do also again have vivid dreams, but if possibly they're even less ordered than the set you had before. So you're having weird interdictions of the whole running around the house looking for your sister, but then clipping into the dream you had about that fight in the past with your, well, sister, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
And the two are just running into each other in deeply confusing ways, and at one point you find the staircase up, but when you get there there's a battlefield, and proper, nonsensical dream logic as to where everything is and where it isn't. Which, to be honest, probably sounds like either it's not a message from one of either of your two problems, or it's both of them. Marvellous.
Yes.
Adam, seriously crazy, even more crazy sci-fi fantasy, Silver Age, Viking, alien dreams.
Right.
Even badder than
Kung
the
Fury.
first set.
Oh my god, yes.
The gods turn out to be
Cream
aliens.
cake, to be honest. It's
Cream
all,
cakes, okay.
it's all gone to pieces.
Whilst riding laser-wielding dinosaurs.
Yes, exactly. It's all gone to hell.
Laser raptors.
Cream cakes riding laser raptors.
Yes, it's all gone to hell.
Viking Age, that explains the laser raptors.
Yes, it's all gone to hell in a handcart over there. Yours fluctuates between weird, dark, landscaped trees
Okay.
and actually a bunch of odd ones being on a battlefield. But it doesn't look... It's not a modern one, but it's difficult to place in terms of antiquity because there's no obvious sort of weapons or armour laying about.
Right.
But there's lots of dead people and there's lots and lots of carrion crows
Bloody crows.
everywhere.
You start taking photos of crows.
Fucking birds.
And again, Ron gets probably the nicest sets of
Yay.
dreams. More about being in the wilderness in Canada. It's quite often more sort of autumn, winter, spring. There's not a lot of sort of real summertime sections. It's quite often raining. It's quite often stormy.
And you're a husky.
No. But at one point, you are trying to hike up a hill, and again, you kind of think this is something maybe you did as a kid, and it's kind of bled into the dream. And it's quite a, it's a long, long old hike, this one, and you get to the top, and at the very, very top, there is a huge stone slab, and sticking out of it is this massive weapon handle.
Ooh, what, like a sword hilt or like a...
Heavier than that, and longer.
As in...
Some sort of mace or axe or hammer or something of that sort.
Ooh. Like trying to...
You can, and when you do, like almost blue-white lightning flashes come up it and all the way up your arm.
In like a painful way? Or...
No, in a good way. And it's like you can feel all the veins are picking out in your arm in sort of this electric sort of patterns. And it almost looks like it's forming little runes where some of the veins come across.
Can I look at the runes?
You can look at the runes, yes.
I'm trying to
Memorise
pick one and pick a couple and memorise them.
Yeah, and this happens a couple times through the night. Whenever
And
you're about,
obviously swinging the whatever.
Whenever you're about to really heft it out,
okay,
you
that's
wake
when
up.
the
Yeah.
okay.
Or suddenly you're back trying to yell at some huskies for something that dream logic. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But you can certainly remember a couple of runes, and you know someone luckily that does runes, though he's there that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm above you.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
floating above
He
you,
is
yes.
indeed there, right there.
I don't know
So-
if my legs are.
So,
My legs!
you lot have assembled. Those of you in London have assembled at the crack of dawn at the yard behind the back. Harry, true to,
Every week you guys are amazed by the bloody screen.
Harry, true to his word, is coming with you. There's a van to throw your stuff in, and
Mum, we're on TV.
there's a van to throw your stuff in, and there's benches in the back. That's about as good as you're getting sort of comfort-wise in this one, because vans are not built for multiple passengers at this period.
Yeah.
All the stuff you've asked for is loaded on. Your Luger's been got out for you.
Yeah.
And you head firstly to Cranfield. It's probably about 20 miles. It'll take you a little while to run up there. And I presume Abe is waiting for them.
Can I have a look at the gun before?
Yes,
we
you
get this?
can.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
rain
the first
gun.
time you've seen Ron
Is
in
it
military
powered?
uniform.
Yes.
Does it seem to still have lots of power in it?
Yes.
Smart.
Oh, okay.
Don't know where it's drawing it
I
from.
know, it's
Slight
I-
worry.
I have spirit
No,
now,
but you-
so I
You
can,
do?
if I could look at it with spirit now.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask experience because we haven't had.
Oh
it
yeah,
for a
you can all
while,
have 3 XP.
Yay.
Yes, you go spirit now. Yes. You can look at its spiritual reflection. Looks very similar, which tends to be an item that's been made in both worlds, as it were. If anything, a bit shinier. It is drawing power, you suspect, from an extra-dimensional source.
Okay.
And eventually, someone's going to come and look for where all their precious energy is going. But hey,
At the moment, who cares? And the chances of you being alive to have to deal with them are smaller than they were. So,
I don't have more than one spirit and that kind of thing, but I do have a lot in Prime. Could I tell what kind of energy is being
all right.
drawn? If I can.
Make me roll. See if you can.
Sort
Your
of.
sensory effect.
Quick question while he's rolling.
Yes.
Can I put my dex up because my leg's healed?
Yes, you can put your dex up to legs here.
yay.
You and your logical. 3 successes. All
Marvellous.
the successes.
Logical
Okay,
character progression.
Yeah.
Right. This has got quite a complex, specially tailored rote in it. As far as you're concerned, this looks like Void Engineer. It's always looked like Void Engineer to you.
Yeah.
However, for 3 successes, it is drawing its energy directly from the Shard Realm of Prime, which would have needed Chorus permission. It just would.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know if anyone that could give the permission is still alive at this point.
So, okay, so this is basically a mild, and I assume somewhat, what's the word, categorised or restricted portal to the Shard Realm of Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that it's one way and only if you're quintessence.
Yeah, but that's.
Yeah.
So why? Any idea why it's turned on now?
It's got in itself a couple of correspondence and spirit effects that, as well as doing damage and targeting systems and all that sort of thing, it seems to be running something else, some sort of background scanning.
Right.
It was waiting for a set of circumstances.
Okay.
And those were dimensional stroke correspondence keyed.
Okay. Which is weird, it didn't move.
I
Okay.
was going to ask, what are your 2 forces?
Two.
What do you both have as forces foci?
Oh, Grimoire.
Knife.
They're the ones I've seen.
Yeah,
in
they are,
courses.
yes.
Book about knives. That's your
Got some very
book of
detailed
kitchenware.
rotes that you can follow. I could teach you
Maybe the knives might be.
about
I
forces.
think the
With your
knives would
idiom,
fit
possibly.
better.
Damn!
Right.
That's fine.
So,
Is that your last one?
so are you,
Not in
Oh!
everything
So are you
now.
taking-
Then he explodes.
are you taking it with you?
Yep. Well, I'll wait till these guys get here.
Right.
On the ride,
Roger is excited. Roger.
on the ride, I am going to try and play with my watch, my pocket watch. I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to try and put a point of quintessence into it and see what happens with my. Can I do that with 1 prime?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to
Well,
try.
You can, because it would let you anyway, so it
It'll
doesn't
just
mind.
absorb it anyway. I just want to try and see if that does anything,
Okay.
and I will try my correspondence forces, mind and prime awareness on it, just to give it another go,
Okay.
try it out.
Everything. You've tried this before.
Yeah.
But this time when you do it, particularly when you put essence in, it spins itself round. almost like it did the first time it sort of kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
And it decides, as you pull into Cranfield, that it's 43 minutes to midnight.
So 17 minutes past 11.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's bizarre. Where in the world would that be right now?
What's the local time?
Probably about 6:30 in the morning, I'd have thought.
No.
Maybe 7 by the time we get out to
So
Cranfield.
it's not a time zone.
It's 17 minutes past the hour.
No, it's not 17 minutes past the hour anyway.
Maybe it's more accurate than the...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right, so it's
All the clocks are running
Is
quarter of an
Abe-
hour out.
is Abe sort of by the lab waiting for them?
Yeah, probably. Well,
Right.
we're inside writing notes
Yeah.
and stuff.
The van pulls up.
Like I say, note, like, you know,
Has
make sure we didn't take care of Andrew Garrett and the fact that, you know, that whole portal thing, and he needs to visit it, and it's moved. And
I'm assuming like it's an army truck.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's a truck with some wooden benches in the back.
Yeah, I'll hop down and start unloading equipment.
No, we're not at Bletchley.
No, you're at Cranfield.
Oh, we're at
first,
Cranfield.
picking up him, yeah.
we're
No,
picking
okay.
up.
On.
I'll hop down and
Though at
walk
this
over
point,
to
Abe
where-
needs to be
Down
slightly
and load
dragged out
Abe
the lab
into
by
the
the
van.
Well, I wanted people to say what they think we should take.
Is it ticking? Is it like moving?
At the moment, no, it's stopped.
Okay.
I'm assuming someone's going to be there to point me in his direction.
Yeah,
Wait, you've been to that before, haven't you?
Roger wasn't there. He
Wasn't
was there. Yeah, Harry actually will sort
Some
of
very interesting things
lump
here.
his way out.
It's there's a like a ray gun.
Oh, we'll
There's
show
a
you.
typewriter,
Abe,
a
open
magic
up.
typewriter.
Oh,
Ray
yeah,
gun.
It's Harry.
Like comic book ray gun.
Oh yeah, but it's inert. It's just no.
Right.
Oh, I don't know.
It
There
was
was an
in that
accident.
last time we were here.
All right.
Wasn't he talking about an accident on the phone or something?
Right, so Cranfield, this is an airfield, so it's RAF, but they've given this corner over for these Aetherites to work out of. It's one of these sort of prefab type, not really prefab, but those sort of 40s temporary
Yeah.
wall put up buildings. There's a lot of
Or like a
whitewash.
Nissan Hut type
Yeah,
thing.
basically. There's a lot of whitewash going on everything in here. And it's sort of attached to another brick building that obviously was here beforehand, but it's been sort of expanded quickly, basically. It's a little bit on the chilly side.
It's probably a sign saying something like warning extreme danger or something.
Yes.
Do
Chilly,
not enter.
please.
Yeah, fair point, you're a Canadian.
Danger of death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
danger of death, keep
Positively
out.
balmy.
Yes. Danger of death, keep out, do not enter, under any circumstances.
I'm going to completely ignore that and walk in.
Yeah.
Well, Harry, yes.
You
Lumps
walk
down off
into
the
the
van.
jaws of death, don't you?
Right. Well, it's Abe, basically.
so
It's not currently
you're in
jaws of
trouble.
death. Right, so Abe is
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Are you
long workbench.
So I'm probably writing a note down. There's probably the ray gun with a bunch of wires.
I'm
attached.
holding the stopwatch in the pocket watch in my hand. It did something today.
Oh, right.
It says it's 11:17.
Okay.
Forward.
Did you do anything, or was it just like
I
when
gave
you
it
wake
a
up?
bit of power and tried all my senses on it.
Was the time right before you did that?
Yeah,
However you'd keep
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So you broke it.
yeah. But it did what it
Okay.
it did when I first got it and I first awakened.
Anyone with prime senses, I'm not even make you roll. The ray gun is doing its thing.
I
Now-
go over and peer with the ray gun without touching it. I'm standing back, but I'm going.
All right. So
That's on.
stuff we think I
That
should.
wasn't doing that last time.
No, I'll get to that in a minute.
I'm
So
going to pull out my notebook and start sketching.
stuff I think we should take. This puzzle box because
Yeah, definitely.
It's
It's got
pretty
the runes on it.
unresponsive, and who knows? It might be connected. And like I
It's
say,
a wooden puzzle box.
hard to get into, so if it
Basically,
is
it's
lost,
like it's cube. You can push various things. It doesn't do much.
Okay, when he said, are there literally runes visible on it?
Yes.
There are
There's one room.
there's
on
one
it.
Does it
rune
look like any
and
of the
one
ones
letter.
I saw?
Yes.
I'm going to
there's a
reveal
few
what I
Greek
was
elves.
sketching and go, these
Sorry.
appeared on my arm when I was dreaming last night, and they look like that. And
Do you
hold out
remember
my
the ring that
sketch.
Well, you had a weird
Like
dream
that.
as well last night.
His runes he's seeing is Alpha to Omega, basically. The first to the last. Beginnings to endings.
Yeah, something
I can't
about
remember
like
the names of them in Norse, but
almost a
beginnings
bit-
to endings.
sword in the stone type, but not a sword, but in Canada.
Sorry? So you're the King of Canada.
No, that would be
Harry's
His
I
Royal
believe
Highness
that's
King
King
George.
That's King George, thank you very much, yes.
Yeah, Ron very swiftly corrects him on
Yes.
who the King of Canada is.
Right.
I know very well who the King of Canada is. Thank you very much.
But yeah, no, it's the beginning rune and the ending rune. That's what he's drawn.
Yeah.
There's also a tiny little Hebrew alpha. No one knows what that looks like.
And there's also a bit of an Arabic poem on it.
And a bit of Arabic poem on it as well, but I think the chances of Ron reading Arabic poetry are very slim, so...
But I know what it said because I poked around with it and then I could like
can
hear
read English
someone
and
reading
French.
it to me.
Yeah. I had another dream about crows. In a
Crows.
battlefield.
Oh,
Like
like
some-
afterwards.
Historic. Like a long time ago. In a dark landscape. My eye's not weeping again, is it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Shut up.
I just don't do it normal stuff.
Okay. That's every night for Abe. It's like
That's a bit more weird, but I'll probably...
that's not really a dream. That's more designing schematics.
Laser raptors.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm on it.
Gorillas, fluids that do a lot of things that fluids don't normally do. That's gold that was unusual. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we should take the puzzle box because it's kind of. I think we should take the typewriters because it's connected to
Yes.
the prisoner
The twin
anyway,
thing.
probably.
Yep.
And it might give more of a connection to them when we get close. The gyroscope. Now, this gyroscope points to random places, if you remember, and it seems to be connected with that whole Flying Dutchman thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's probably worth taking. 'Cause it's about this big.
And heavy as well, it's like
I
oak
don't
and
think
brass.
that's worth it.
No.
Right, so I think that's
The ray gun?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's everything but the ray gun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not forgetting. Right, okay, so yeah, So this ray gun, it's a Void Engineer, one of the conventions, the exploring extra-dimensional space convention for the
Okay.
technocracy. It's definitely made by them, but with permission from the chorus. I don't know how that worked out. I've got no history of the item, but it's basically, it's sort of a real-world and extra-dimensional weapon,
Okay.
powerful big weapon that shoots and destroys things, as you expect weapons to do.
Yep.
But it's powered by a connection straight to the dimension of energy. So, what planet is that? Is that Jupiter or is that Venus? I'm forgetting. It's connected with one of the planets. Anyway,
Harry's just staring at you.
the dimension of energy. So it's basically all energy.
Shard Realm of Prime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a powerful ray gun that
Shoots both here and in like the nearby dimensions.
and does lots of damage.
I want to say Jupiter, because
Yeah.
Venus is life.
It's just turned on now
Yeah.
for reasons I can't
And
quite
obviously
work
Mars
out.
is where
Well, that's the
How
sign,
big is
that
it?
the
Yeah,
symbol
and
that's often...
obviously
Because obviously
where-
I can
obviously
see it
Mars
as a
is where
character.
Dwarf Step is,
I have no idea, so it's like a
that's
handgun.
Yeah, it's a pistol-sized ray gun. But
We're
yeah,
still alive next year, we should go. Be nice.
But yeah,
Sure.
it turned on for some reason I can't quite work out. Some circumstances within it was met, but it's not. I don't know which ones they were. They were probably to do with position or some other kind of dimensional effect. So it could turn off at any point. It could explode at any point. It's very hard to tell what circumstances it's matching.
Okay.
It bounced off a metal target, like literally ricocheted off a metal target, which isn't therefore not going to be that useful against,
Tanks.
or
Unless you like stick it through a tank window and fire the trigger.
well, maybe. It's a bit unpredictable. Is
bounces
what I'm
back
saying.
on what's
It seems
going
very
on,
powerful.
yeah.
Just bounce around inside.
And the problem is because you
You
shoot
hope.
it's
Says Harry.
shooting extra dimensional as well as this world. There are often things wandering through the extra dimensional areas, and if you shoot at them, they might get quite annoyed.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It is a powerful weapon. I think we should take it with us because it is a powerful weapon, but it is also
sounds
very much a
like-
gamble.
It sounds like it would be good to shoot the big bad with.
Maybe.
No, we have a bullet with his name on.
Yes.
I don't see a harm in shooting him with both.
Yeah, sure.
It could also be
Good
a very
point.
useful power
Overkill is
source
underrated.
in extremis. I'm not quite sure how it would react to being converted.
Could it be used as a portal?
Maybe, but I haven't got the method of doing so. And the only place I could see it being a portal to going to would be the dimension of primal energy, which is
Jupiter.
quite hard to survive in.
Good idea.
Harry's is
Jupiter.
yeah, tricky
But
on many
but
levels.
if you found like a big magic bomb, could you stick it through a hole?
Oh yeah,
It would
just
go
go
off
there and
somewhere
solve it. Yeah, fine. If you had the technical ability of doing it, I don't have the dimensional, know-how.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Don't think my correspondence is powerful enough.
No, you need dimensional knowledge because it's
Human
Right.
spirit.
So we know what we're taking. Let's get it on the van and get going.
Does he mean spirit?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He's an Eve, right? They're weird.
I don't know that.
He's an
I know a little of that, but
They're
not enough.
Strange. I know.
It's fine. They're very useful.
Yeah, I can
Right,
tell.
okay, let's get Ava and his stuff on the van. We promised our
Well, it's very big.
technocracy
There's
colleagues
the boxes this big, the guns this big.
Sure, yeah.
crack of dawn, so let's just get on with
Everything's about that big.
The Tyro is more big.
I'm
Tyro.
assuming-
Oh, yeah.
Have they got like bags for them?
it. Yes, there
Yeah.
are probably bags. Right, let's get everything on the van.
I'll just
Okay.
pick
So
up one
I'll
of the
have
big
to
bags. and
drop
start
you
walking.
outside the buildings, as it were, due to pre-existing arrangements whereby they don't meddle in mine and I don't meddle in theirs. So, but let's just get going. Right. So you get back on the road.
Yep.
42 minutes. 41 minutes. 40 minutes. Bedfordshire countryside slips
So it's
by.
clocking down.
35 minutes.
Okay.
28 minutes.
This is counting down.
All right, that's interesting.
Well,
I think we're getting closer
on,
to some... No, I think it's like a very distance thing.
maybe.
Oh, shit, he's counting up, but it seems to be counting up to
Counting
midnight.
up.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
17
As
minutes
in
to
count-
midnight. 15
countdown.
minutes to midnight.
Do we stop? Like, does the vehicle have to stop at any point? And does the...
At one point it stops because this is still rural Bedfordshire in the middle of the war. So at one point
There's
you
some
stop while
sheep.
someone moves some cows across, and it stops,
Okay.
and then you move and it starts again.
So it's a spatial thing rather than a temporal thing.
Yes, and you see again a fairly unremarkable sort of side thing, except for the big things that say Ministry of War, do not enter, no, yeah. Go away, basically. Which the van turns down. Short tracks you can see, well, particularly to you who's still getting your head around English architecture, well, it looks like a slightly unassuming sort of country, not even a big country house, a sort of slightly unassuming country house. And a whole series of Nissen buildings, Nissen huts and various other temporary buildings nestled around it, and large concrete concrete hard standing type area.
This
out the
one, I
front.
do actually know what it looks like.
Yes.
I have been there.
So this is Bletchley Park. As you pull up, the lorry engine goes off, the door opens, and it goes to midnight, and then it starts to merrily tick away normally past midnight.
Okay. We're in the right place.
Or the wrong place.
Well, if it's
No,
if it's
listen.
a dimensional thing, like as in a correspondence space thing, then this is kind of one of the centres of that kind of
Sure,
activity in the
sure.
country.
So maybe it
That's what I
just
mean.
it picked it up because we got to within a certain distance of it, and it's just
But
clocking in on it.
We have temporarily lost Pete due to unforeseen circumstances, but that's okay. Jeremy's got a lot on his mind at the moment, and I can catch him up when
that's
we
a bit
get
a
back.
nice test for him not actually being here to get
So
things
you
being recorded.
unload everything. Lewis, who you met for, I think. No, you guys weren't. You even weren't around when he was here before. Right, Lewis is relatively short guy, quite thin. He's Portuguese originally, though he's not got much of an accent at this point. He was sent to school here, so he's been here a long time. And he seems to know Abe because he wanders up to him as soon as you come up. Good morning, good
Hello.
morning, good morning.
Right, how are things?
About the same, but that's not bad.
All right,
He's awake.
good.
But then when's he not really at the minute? I've told him you're expected any minute, so if you're all right, we may as well come through. I
Sure.
don't think he's going to literally go like that, so you're probably all right to leave the heavy stuff to one side for a moment.
Okay.
Mostly because you probably won't all fit with all of that in the room as well. Well, you might. You'll see what you mean when I get there. It's a complex set of circumstances.
All right.
Right. Morning,
Um,
chaps. I'm Louis. Pleased to meet you. I am. He pats his pockets. I did have a bit of paper here that said it somewhere. Associate Intelligence Analyst. And welcome to Bletchley Park.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Home of British, code breaking, I suppose. And the virtual adepts where you find us.
Yeah.
Right.
Is
So,
he wearing any kind of uniform?
no, he's not.
Okay.
He's wearing, just sort of
Civilian
slacks and a
clothes.
badly pressed shirt, to be honest.
Rufus will salute Harry as they leave.
Yep. See you, Harry. Thanks for your
Louis
help.
sort of waves at him. Harry salutes back at you
snaps
all
a
as you're
salute.
going.
So yeah, this is Rufus. This is
Pleased to
Ron,
meet you. Pleased to meet you
And
too.
this is Jeremy.
and this is Jeremy. Now, Jeremy, I don't want to go into too much of his business, but might have something that might interact with some of your equipment here. So if you could keep
I'll do preliminary
a
scans, and
correspondence
himself will
eye on
be
it.
all right anyway. Don't worry.
Good.
Right. So, gentlemen, follow me and let me explain. So, as well as being a very useful place. And he leads you in away from the big manor house and towards one of the very temporary looking huts. This place is also the laboratory. Where's the tip of my tongue? What do they say? Chantry.
Right,
Yeah, chantry of our convention here, and also the home of the de facto leader of our convention at the moment, who's a man I'm going to go and take you to meet, Dr. Alan Turing. He's a very brilliant mathematician and engineer, and is currently running an awful lot of threads of the whole Allies intelligence operation, both magical and non-magical, through here. Almost everything is extremely sensitive. Please try not to poke stuff, partially because you might upset it, partially because it might not be there at some point, and if you're attached to it when it's not, I don't actually entirely know what happens or where you'll end up. The floor is probably safe. That is the good news. You're fine if you stand on the floor, because we've had talks about the floor, and the floor now stays where it is. But just be careful of everything else, and aware that he's working very hard.
Yeah, I did warn him yesterday.
And reality's taking a little bit of a battering at the moment, alright? So just
No kidding.
just watch your footing.
Stay thinking, yep, everything's weird.
just watch your
Have
footing.
you been to St Paul's?
No.
Like their globe room. It's quite similar, actually. Well, sort of, and different in lots of ways as well, but...
Is their floor alright too?
Sort of. They've got a big globe. It's less spatially weird, but more... I don't know.
Well, prime
That's-
weird.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say basically weird.
Right, okay. So, follow me, gentlemen. As I said, try not to poke things. The norm. Right, so he,
So they seem bothered by like the rifle slung over his shoulder.
not remotely.
Excellent.
So he says, right, leave the heavy kit stuff here, just by these doors. There's a double door that looks like it would have been an outside exit at some point. Leave them there and just, let's see what's going on, right? He moves it a bit and just pokes his eyes like, no, we look relatively good. Alan? Right, and as you look in behind him, you can see, right, this room is not very large at all. It's probably about 4 metres, almost exactly square as you step in. And three of the 3 walls you can see that aren't these doors are covered with what appear to be hundreds, probably thousands, of tiny little versions of those little index card drawers. So it's all this sort of dark wood, little tiny drawers with little brass things that you pull out. And about a third of them are out and open at any one point. There is a big, large, very comfy looking leather armchair, sort of proper button back, red bull's blood leather type chair, which is turned not so its back's entirely towards you, it's sort of side on to you as you step in. And sat in it is actually quite a young man, probably still in his late 20s at this point. He's quite tall, he's very slim, he's got dark hair and quite dark eyes. He's wearing a slightly crumpled short sleeve shirt, and some his trousers are actually a sort of military fatigue type trouser as well, so the two don't really go with each other. And he looks up at you all.
Unsure of how to react. Ron's gonna salute.
Looks and says, "It'll do. Come in. You come
I'll
in."
probably also salute on the grounds that this person has been introduced as the head of their...
Yeah, that's basically what I've been going is he's been introduced to someone very important, so...
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going with...
he just smiles at you, wasn't it? That's charming.
All right, Alan,
Come in.
how's it going?
And it's you.
Abe, Alan.
Abe, yes,
Yeah.
Abe. I remember now. I'm sorry. Do come in.
That's fine.
Right, I'm not going to make you roll. The second you will go over the threshold, Adam's character may be aware of what's happening. The 2 newer mages, you probably heard the theory. You've got no idea. All you know is you step over the threshold, and from the second you do,
Like I say,
everything feels odd.
I'd probably do the thing when you get onto an escalator of the slight pause and sort of wait and then step
Step in. From your viewpoint, everything feels
Weird.
odd. Adam, you think we've reached that? You're not certain that, strictly speaking, this is the real world at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know off the top of your head what it is? Because you're not really a correspondence expert, are you? I don't think.
I have nothing in
I
correspondence.
have correspondence.
You have a distinct
And
impression.
spirit,
You have a
and
distinct
everything else.
impression that you are, yes, no longer in the normal
Kansas.
waking world. You have correspondence. You have everything at one.
Yeah.
The minute you cross your threshold, you are not in Bedfordshire or England or Earth. Maybe. Maybe? Not sure. Nowhere and everywhere is up currently. Because, correspondence gives you a sort of essential sense of direction. Someone said, where's north at the moment?
I'd try and grow some more arms.
Yeah, you're not even, you haven't got enough axes,
Yeah.
basically. To describe where north currently is from your current position, you are elsewhere.
I'm going to step to one side of the door so I'm not blocking the door, and then stand very still. As I feel rather disoriented by the whole experience.
Louis almost not quite creeps up, but just very gently goes towards the chair as you jump. And there's tea and a half-drunk cup of tea and a half-eaten bit of toast literally on the arm of this chair. And he's like, mostly. And Louis' like, yeah, well done, that's better than yesterday. I'll go and get you some water, okay? And he takes these off on a little tray and leaves you be.
I'll probably fall over. And get back up.
He looks at you with deep... Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Is down not working again? Oh no, you fell. Down probably is working.
I don't
Everything
know,
else...
It's just quite hard
maybe
to
not.
work out what weighs on
Ju-
what.
Just keep your feet on the floor, and if it gets too bad, close your eyes and just tell yourself your feet are on the floor.
It's alright, I fall over
Ron's
and
probably
step
just stood
sometimes.
there looking really confused. I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, I think down's still that way, but up is in directions I'm struggling to point.
Up is an outmoded concept. It's fine. So,
Should have stayed in Canada.
We possibly are
Actually-
in
He
Canada.
thinks to himself.
oh, hang on. Sorry, hang on a moment. One of the walls covered in the shells falls away, like a badly put together flat pack. There is basically an expanse of white that suddenly sort of stops to an English sort of country garden with one of those massive outdoor sets of chess. And he yells at it, Queen to Bishop 3, and then the wall comes flat up towards everybody again. And for a second, the ceiling comes down for a bit, but then it recovers and goes back up again.
How's Ollie
Sorry, that's the
reacting to
second.
this?
Ollie is standing very near you, and his paws are all very close to each other, like as close as he can get without falling, and he's leaning on your leg. And he's not saying a word, he's not whimpering, but he's also definitely not barking or making any sort of engaging noise. He's just standing leaning. Just his weight of this husky leaning on your knee. Right.
Slightly nervous dog.
Yes, okay, and hang on, we just need to... Right, he clicks his fingers up, and about 5 or 6 of them fall down, and what comes out is like a sort of a load of sort of ticker tape paper. Kind of like literally just a rivulet of it comes, and it starts pooling on the floor, and he's like, okay, hang on. And then a small bit of the floor falls away, and all the ticker tape is sucked down it, almost like a plug hole. Okay, so that's gone there. So I just need, right, that. He points at some of the other pictures that open. One opens, and basically night sky and stars kind of fall out and pour onto the floor. And no, that's got to go there. Open that one, and a whole series of tiny little, to the point that they almost look like little Monopoly pieces. Tiny little toy soldier pieces all tumble out. And he gesticulates, and they all sort of suddenly line up and sort of march along a wall and then fall down another hole. Okay, so that's there. So then I need... Oh, actually, no, sorry, nearly missed it. Right, one of the other walls completely collapses away, and suddenly before you can see, as I say, what the sort of... You didn't get as far as North Africa, did you? You're in Europe and your various tours around. I say, which is often used by the French term désert absolu, which is basically just the deep sand seas of the Sahara stretching away in front of you. Absolute desert. Yes. This is good. Right, he reels off a whole series of just digits and numerical and very occasionally letter codes in it. And you see, literally, it suddenly looks like maybe there's some sort of grid board under the sand as square sections start falling away and other sand bits fall into them. Yes. And he points in the distance and you see rising out of the sand a mountain. Marvellous, right. And he gesticulates and the wall comes back up again, but instead of the drawers, it's now got like a blue sky and there's like little twittering birds and some clouds. That's better.
More like England looking.
Yeah, that's better. But just sky, no context.
Okay.
Like you're looking at it from underneath.
Yeah, the underside of birds flying across.
Yep. That's better, isn't it? There we go.
So, Alan,
Yes, Norway.
yeah, there's a whole, nuclear bomb situation with artifact that allows combination of paradigms situation.
Yes,
I don't know if Louis explained.
Louis did explain. Yes, so you've got to go. I only wish I could go, but I need to keep all this. Stop it! And he stares in the other drawers, and again, loads of these ticker tape falls out, and he just gesticulates that way. Oh, I've told you. Sorry, there's a lot of.
Yeah, rather
Such
than
a lot.
the whole plane flying over the danger thing and dropping out thing, which
Yes.
you might be able to.
Oh, yeah, I certainly can. Let me try and find a sensible way. You've got a problem. He points towards the door you came in on. There are 2 versions of her stood by the door.
I look around to see if anyone else can
we?
seems to be.
Okay.
You can just see a door. You have an issue you probably need to resolve before I can... Anywhere, really.
We've got a bunch of stuff to get in.
They both say in unison, I don't think this is the right way. No, this way. Come back. Come away. Look, back to reality, back through the door, away from all this. And they're saying it in perfect unison. They're moving their fingers and stuff in the same exact manner. It's all gone a little bit The Shining over there.
So yeah, we've got a bit of stuff to get. Can you do it now, or Louis wasn't sure when you'd be able to fit
I
this in?
should be able to. Yes. Floor for preference, I'm assuming.
What do you mean?
Well, where in normal you want to be. I'm assuming somewhere on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A specific bit of the floor.
Okay,
If
right.
if you could bring up a map. I
He
know it's
snaps his
prosaic,
fingers. One of the drawers opens, and that's near you, and extends out. And then it opens like a flat pack, but then it finds a few extra dimensions to fold itself out from. So there's about a sort of metre square map of Norway in front of you. Just mark an X with that. He points at another thing, and a very strange fountain pen.
Mhm.
That when you try to see if the ink's ready to come out, on one side it looks like gold, on the other side it looks like blood. Just mark where you need to be.
Ron, where do you reckon we should be heading? The location.
They're both. This man's a madman. We've got what we need. Seriously, we need to go to Spain.
What?
Spain.
Why?
There's a troubadour
Did we hear
there.
his response?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, because he needs to know where we're going, answering as if you've just queried why he's asked me to.
I'm looking at the door.
Yeah,
so
but-
I kind of hold my hand out.
There's a troubadour in the Plaza de las Americas in Madrid, who has this really interesting manner of winding people's emotional resonance and song through their life patterns. You should definitely learn that.
There's an Nefandus who's very close to destroying everyone's life pattern.
Yes,
Right.
we know.
One of them suddenly sort of almost shakes herself and goes, don't listen to her, go, sort him out, get rid of him. It's the only way to save both of us. And then the other version of her sort of almost reaches out to punch her twin, effectively, and now they appear to be having some sort of slightly minor catfight in the corner of your reality. Right, anyway, you've
So
got a map.
I'm really not sure which of them is trying to persuade me that I should go and confront the Nefandus, and I'm really tempted to believe that the one that's suggesting I should go and confront the Nefandus is probably the ghost that wants me to die.
That's definitely within the realm of possibility.
Okay.
I'm actually saying this out loud.
Yeah. All right, there we go then.
Ron's just going to give you the look of, I just don't know anymore. So, looking at the map, I know where we want to go in the area,
you
right?
know exactly where the 30 is, but there is a village, and there is also...
I'm basically going to mark an area in the wilderness, so when we appear without anyone around.
And you guys know where Wolf's Hold are, the guys you talked to before. Admittedly, you're a bit distracted at the minute, but you know where they were. So yeah, if you went for the wilderness near their manor village, and you can try and sort of strike out for whatever.
They were a
seems
fair
good
way
plan.
away from where we want to be.
Yeah,
so
but
possibly
maybe
closer to
nearer
where we
than
actually
that.
want to be.
No, some of them were going to get in touch with you, weren't they, from the village? I think they said.
Yes,
So
but
you
the,
need
but
to,
the actual
not the actual
near
Wolf's Home.
Wolf's
No,
Home,
you don't want to go to
yeah.
Wolf's Home. That's miles away.
Yes.
That's near the
I was going to
Arctic
say
Circle.
that's the other side of Norway. So.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit of a walk.
Yeah, that would be a long walk. Right. So yeah, you
That's not quite the side because no.
Yeah, so I will basically pick an area.
yeah, just make
nice-
a sort of X. I'll get on that. Yeah.
I will look at the pen when he's using it.
To be
What colour does it draw?
Hmm?
Well, half of it was gold, half of it was blood.
It draws gold,
Yeah.
but if you try and get like your eyeball down level with where it's going on the paper, it's like it's being held in a thin layer of blood above it.
Right.
Helps. Yes, I'm looking at you. You've got a thing. The thing. Shiny thing.
Got a
Gun
bunch of things.
thing.
Yeah,
Thing.
I've got Void Engineer's ray gun.
So I can probably send that through with it still attached. Probably. No, I can. I can send that through with it still attached. But
Right.
obviously, I
I
didn't.
don't want to detach it because I don't know what
No,
happens if you detach
I
it in there.
didn't. I didn't make the original connection.
Doesn't surprise me.
So if whoever does takes offence, there's not a lot I can do about that.
Why would they?
Some people don't like their things going through portals. It's like a thing.
Well,
It is
we'd like to
very-
talk to the original owner, so if they want to get in touch, that's fine.
That's it is very tied to freedom. Hang on a minute. Okay, yes, just a second. Right, and he closes his eyes, and like a long row of the ticker doors go down, and you can all see what looks like cogs, but almost like they're like dies from safes. There's different numbers on all of them, little spinning dials of cogs, and behind it you can see what looks like miles of them, just going back into the perspective point, basically. Right, okay, 47914 reroute through 7B1412. Yeah, marvellous. What was I saying?
The only other thing I think might be dangerous because it's going to other places is typewriter in this puzzle box. As far as I know, there's nothing else.
Typewriter belongs to some bint over there. He gesticulates towards the flying birds. Puzzle box. Oh, that's a weird one. Should we open it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I should. Let me look. Well, this is interesting.
Careful, it can be a bit angry when it responds.
He sits down in a chair holding it, and it's like the light level goes down, and you're still somewhere weird, but all of the walls now just look like
Normal walls.
No, they look like the little oak drawers again, basically, including the door,
Library reference file
including the
drawers.
door which is now not there.
We're now locked in the room.
Looked in the room with Manman.
Oh, this is interesting, isn't it? Oh, I do
So be
like
careful,
this.
it can be a bit touchy.
No, this isn't mine. I really can't. Right, he pats it like it was some form of small animal. You be good now. He hands it back to you.
Has it changed?
I am going to apologise to the one that didn't tell me not to go.
Right,
Or-
yeah.
Sorry, the one that... I'm going to apologise to the one that was still selling I shouldn't go,
Yep.
because I've got a feeling that might be my actual avatar. But I do need to do this.
She sighs and disappears. You two can see a young woman standing next to him.
So, what, just suddenly out of
Yeah.
nowhere? I'm just going to stare. I'm like,
They're looking
What?
at your avatar. Or ghost, whatever she is, her. They're currently looking at her.
I mean, does it look like a ghost or like a
No,
person?
it looks like a person. So she looks like whatever you think she looks like, to be honest. So
A late teen. young woman.
Yeah, wearing fairly ordinary sort of clothes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, just out of surprise of there's now a woman in the room. Where did she come from? Kind of reaction.
Oh. You can see her now. Interesting.
Yeah. What?
Miss?
Where did you come from? He says, trying to gather his composure.
His head. She nods at Rufus.
Pretty much.
That way.
It's going to glance at you as if you know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, as I did say, this place isn't a place of just space. It's also a place of information because they're apparently the same thing. So
Yeah.
What is
it
it
makes
like?
sense that information can make something appear.
Is it like a memory or what?
Last thing you remember, you were getting out of the van. You now appear to be in about a 4 metre square room with these guys. There's a strange girl standing next to Colin. There's a large button-backed red leather armchair with a tall, quite slim-looking young man sat in it.
Looks a bit like Alan Turing.
Looks a bit like Alan Turing.
Remarkably so.
All 4 of the walls are currently, and actually the ceiling at the moment as well, are all currently look like thousands of tiny versions of those little library index card drawers. So sort of dark wood with the little brass plaques.
Okay.
And currently that's all 4
Just
walls and
that.
the ceiling. The floor just looks like floor, however.
Yeah,
the floor
but
just
the
looks like
walls are
floorboards.
just that. No
No
doors.
doors.
Yeah, no
or
doors,
anything.
no anything, no.
So we got out of
And the ceiling.
the van and then suddenly we're in this room.
No, we walked into the room.
Russ walks in.
Okay.
He walked in with you as far as you look concerned. He's just been oddly quiet. And your watch begins to chime in your pockets.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
So,
Alan, yeah, we're going to need a door to get everything else in here.
Yeah, I know that. The door is somewhere.
Did you want to ask
Sorry,
us
I
anything?
hope
Well,
no
I
one
don't
else wants any
know
more.
what to call you, miss.
No, Judith.
Right, Judith.
Hold on, so the
She's not at the moment.
the woman is...
Okay.
Oh, does she sound French?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Rufus appears to be slightly
She
confused.
probably sounds French to you,
Oh, okay.
but not to them.
If there's anything you want to,
It's alright, I could have understood her.
I suspect you won't. This is.
sorry, chaps. What happened to the short, long walk here? We were.
Well, we basically just walked into the room, opened the door, and then it was all... When we walked in, it was all weird.
Do you not remember the walk here and the whole?
No, my
20
thing
minutes we've
just
been in
went. No, my thing went at the van and then it went here and.
What?
Well, I believe it's supposed to be a bit weird here.
Joan just sort of shakes his head at you. No, it's not just... Well, it is me, but it's not just me.
Things
So-
are weirder than normal.
I think there's something going on with my.
now
Pocket
you've
watch.
had time
Don't
to sort
touch
of
anything.
orientate
but
yourself.
The floor's all right. Basic advice.
You're not... You've got correspondence, haven't you?
I do.
You've got quite a bit of correspondence, right? You are not where you were. You're not in Bedfordshire. You're not in England. You're not totally certain you're on Earth. As Colin, I believe, summed up earlier, if someone
can I
said,
sit
"Can you
down?"
point in the direction of north?" you currently don't have enough arms or axes to correctly describe where north currently is.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna sit down.
On the floor, because that's kind of.
Can I sit on this sofa?
It's an armchair, but he's not sat in it in a minute, so you probably could.
Okay, no. If there's someone sitting on it, even if it's just one person on a 4-person
No,
thing, I'm not
it's
gonna
just a
sit
chair,
in
but
it.
he's
No,
sat
it's a
on it.
single chair. There's just no one in it.
Yeah, no, Turing's just not sit. So he's walking around at
I'll
the
sit
moment.
down then if there's no one sitting.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you've just got this is interesting.
Suddenly a bit
Kind of complicated,
discombobulated.
isn't it? Yeah, it's interesting. Oh dear, this could be yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you need to see.
My name's Jeremy.
Yes, I know who you are. Alan.
I guessed.
You need to see something.
It's a great pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you need to see something. You really need to see something.
It's not a crow, is it?
No.
Good.
Why don't crows?
No, I've just seen a lot of crows recently and it's been winding me up.
I promise you, there are no crows.
Okay.
I will be right back on the whole... you wanted a door, didn't you?
If we
Door,
can move the stuff
excellent
in, yeah.
door. Yes, I agree.
Person-sized one or a stuff-sized one.
Door was definitely an issue. Right.
An index card-sized one.
The door briefly appears on the ceiling. No, that's not the correct place for the door. There.
Unfortunately, I can't move stuff in through that one, yeah.
The door opens behind... The door appears next to
Not in
you.
a controlled fashion.
The door appears next to you. There we go, one door.
Can anyone do that?
I can't.
I wouldn't suggest.
I'm not actually gonna try.
Do whatever you need to do.
I'm just
Her
going,
being here is a product of here because here is everywhere, and she's everywhere though she's also nowhere because obviously she's dead.
of course.
So once you go through, she won't be there. So if there's anything you need to say to her or ask her about here, I would get it done now.
That's what I was going to say. Is if she's got anything to ask us as well?
Because she can't really go through the door because she could be here because she's not here, but she can't actually be there because she's not here.
Do you want to deal with Jeremy's thing? And I'm pretty sure we can deal with this situation, Alan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is that?
What?
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Anyway, I went.
Ron's just going to shrug beyond that.
Yeah, and you just
I need to see something.
you help with the
apparently.
carrying and don't
I'm just going to kind of
anything.
and start
Yeah, don't-
really awkwardly walking towards the door.
Just don't. The husky is shuffling next to you, looking slightly panicked. Yeah, just don't. Again, when you go through the door, just remember my feet are on the floor. The floor is fine. Just keep that right at the forefront of your brain, and you'll be fine. You probably won't fall over. Right.
I'm going to stay in there and you can pass things through to me. Because if I go out, I'm just going to fall over again.
Right. You get through, and there is a brief moment of like holding on to the bench
Just
that's
some
right
kind of-
outside the door. Like, no, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, no, this is fine. This is
Literally, he's poking the wall.
Ollie goes "Roar," and goes under a chair. You're only presumably slightly disappointed you don't fit under the chair as well.
Yes. He's going to do what he understands and will start unloading the bags.
Right. So
Right, I was going to say, I'm going to go and stand by the door and hold on to the frame.
no, you you need to come with me. Come. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Chess. Yes. Right. One of the walls, as I said, just flat packs down. You know, thump.
Yep.
And beyond it, you can see an English country garden with one of those giant garden-sized chess sets in it.
Yes. Tempted to sing English country
Queen's
garden.
Queen's pawn to bishop's 3. And the wall comes back up again rather fast. Right, okay, so, yeah, you need to see this bit. Right, he steps up with you and begins to walk at the wall.
I will just follow him because nothing makes sense right now.
Right, as he goes to go through the wall, all the different boxes sort of fold in on themselves in a sort of like a cube collapsing type thing.
Yeah.
Till they become a sort of floor passage going off in front of him. We'll be, like, right back.
Yeah, no, time.
Right,
I'm going to turn
come
around
with
and
me.
look at Abe. Like, I think I might die right here. I'm not going to get to Norway.
No,
I will
no.
follow him into the corridor.
You need to see the best thing ever. I found it.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've temporarily forgotten what it was because it wasn't technically you that lost it. It was anyway. But I found it.
Okay.
Come and look.
Oh, you're talking about my avatar?
No, that's entirely your business. But come and see what I found. Right,
No,
he
it's
goes.
in my... Yeah.
Oh yeah,
anyway,
yes, your avatar. Yeah, no, yeah. If you'd lost that,
I was
but-
trying to think fourth dimensionally.
Yeah, no, come on. Right, so you go about a few metres down the corridor, and again, everything is forming a corridor by lots of little
I'm
collapsing
trying not to look
things.
at it too much. I might...
And he opens a door, and beyond it you can see, right, so this looks like, basically it is a oasis in the desert.
Right.
And it's beautiful. It looks almost sort of idyllic. There's like, there's big tranches of like fig trees, and they're irrigated by this sort of system of channels that a donkey is walking
Hanging
very
gardens,
slowly
kind of,
along,
yeah.
and pulling this sort of, piston thing that's drawing this water up. There's date trees and fig trees and like sort of low growing crops and sort of squashes and all that kind of stuff growing along down there. And in the middle of it there is a beautifully square shining white building. So I found the mountain.
Okay.
It was there. They didn't lose it. It was here all the time. I've just a little bit of readjustment to do, but it's all right.
He did say mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is
It's
it
not
under here?
lost. Well, or we're on it, or it's on
Yeah.
it there. Anyway, you know what I mean.
Okay.
But seriously, this is why the thing.
Sure.
Right, and he points out at it, and you see
At the building.
At the building in the
Okay.
Oasis, and you can see a young man holding your pocket watch. You absolutely know is a previous incarnation of your particular avatar or soul.
Mm-hmm.
And standing with him, there's an Arabic-looking woman and a East African-looking bloke as well. The three of them are stood there, and she appears to be crying. And the your incarnation is saying to the other two, no, they need to think it's gone. They will never stop hounding us. They will never leave us alone. They need this realm too badly. They will never leave us alone while Mount Quaff stands. They need to think that it's destroyed, that we destroyed it with everything we had, and that we will keep it from them, but it will remain here, and when the time's ready, we'll come back, I promise.
Mount
Quaff. You've got, like, mythology occulty things, haven't you?
I do. I'm just writing it down.
Yes. Do you wish to make a roll on what that may be? It's QAF, if you're particularly interested.
Oh, I spelt it like...
Drink.
Spell it however you wish.
yes.
Drink on Mount
So intelligence,
Intelligence and occult.
Yes.
Sounds like my kind of mountain.
That's an
7 dice.
entirely different mountain.
Difficulty?
Difficulty 7.
Ooh.
This is slightly obscure, but if you ever saw it, it may have spoken to you, so you may remember it.
3 successes.
Right, Mount Quaff was the realm of the Alabatin, the previous chairs of the seat of correspondence for the traditions.
Ah, okay.
They
Currently
currently vacant.
Yeah.
They left in what can only be described as a hissy fit about 30 years ago, effectively because technocracy were invading their heartlands in the Middle East, and the rest of the traditions could organise not a damn thing to help them.
Right.
And so they left in great upset that basically, yes, people they'd supported for 2,000 years weren't backing them up when they needed it.
That's annoying.
Which, to be fair, is enough to be really pissed about, I suspect. So they left. Supposedly they have since gone extinct without the tradition's backing and support. And supposedly the realm they controlled, which technically speaking was the gateway to anywhere ever,
Okay.
was lost. The traditions are of the opinion they sabotaged it to prevent the traditions
Mount
gaining
Quaff.
control of it. Mount Quaff.
Okay. He's holding the
He's holding your pocket
watch.
And he holds up level with the building, and he, rather obviously because you should only twist the thing, you shouldn't turn the handles on pocket watches.
No.
He spins the central thing, and it spins around incredibly fast.
Yeah.
And you see the building and everything else fall away, and there's just the three of them standing in sand.
I'm going to look down at the thing in my hand. Okay.
It's very slowly counting backwards.
Okay.
It's like, I found it. It's here.
Well
and you're
done.
here.
Well, I am now. But not
And now
then.
we can finish it.
Okay.
I mean, Norway will be fine. They'll handle it.
This. Okay. Sure.
Oh, no, actually, maybe... that's a very good point. I hadn't considered that.
What's a very good point?
Oh.
That there's other things.
Hell,
You're not thinking.
he turns around and runs back down the corridor.
Okay. I'll spin the pocket watch just for.
Right, as you do, you'd never even noticed this before, but there are teeny tiny diamonds above each of the little hour set. And it's just like they've almost appeared as you do it.
Oh.
And suddenly this feels like it's on. It feels like a very strong connection to this place.
Right.
It's almost of this place.
Okay. So I need to. Because right now I don't think I'm actually here. I think I'm like in some kind of mind illusion. Because that's where he goes with that kind of thing. I know there's massively powerful correspondence magic, but what I've seen looks like some kind of play from the past, and he's, kind of thinking of some kind of illusion. So I'm gonna turn around and go, well, want to get here one day? In my head, I'll have a look, and I'll start walking back down the corridor.
If you've taken a little while to do that,
Yes,
the corridor is vanishing.
I'll kind of stamp
Luckily,
my
your leg is fixed.
I'll stamp my
Your
bad
finger-
foot on the floor and go, yep, okay, and run.
Right. So Turing comes dashing back through. How hang on.
Did you
Have I
just
had a moment to talk to?
Yes, I shall in a minute. Right, he literally stirs a whole portion of the wall and gesticulates, and it falls down, and it comes up at a very odd teleprint, which is sort of like a slightly more sophisticated long-distance Morse, and he begins furiously typing into it. Right, you've had a chance to talk to her while they're moving things very slowly and carefully.
And Turing's going off and doing whatever he's
Doing.
I'm still in the room.
Yes, he's in the room.
Apart from being handed things.
Yeah, exactly.
He's after both of us, you know that.
Yes, I know. But that's, I think, kind of the point.
Yeah. And, yeah. And technically, you've got this worse than I have. I'm kind of beyond his reach. At least mostly. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
I never wanted you to die. But I knew you had to face him.
Well, hopefully death's the worst that's going to happen. I'll try and at least come out of this as me, or, you know.
Well, actually, she looks at you and sort of puts her hand on your arm. I think I can help with that.
How so?
I think if we're talking about claims on your soul, I think mine runs deeper. I don't think he can turn us without both of us.
Well, that's a relief.
I think he needs both parts. I don't think he can invert half a soul.
I'd rather not test that theory.
Yeah,
if
let's
I can
not.
avoid it.
But I don't think he can do that.
Okay.
I mean, your friends are potentially screwed, but I don't think he can take you.
So I've always been told that you can only kill someone, you can't do something with someone's soul without
That
them saying yes.
That may or may not be true. I don't know. Alright, well, let's give it a go then.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, when you get there, before you get to the main thing,
Yeah.
it's an amber necklace. That's mine.
What, he got it?
No, it's near the item. We left it there.
Oh, like previous.
Yeah. Previous me left it there. Yes, this me didn't have an amber necklace, because if she did, she'd probably have sold it. But we left it there.
Okay.
So get that,
Okay.
because then I can be with you.
I'll try.
Right, Turing runs back in into a sentence. Pardon me, miss.
Sure it's the right one.
I think I know which one it is.
Okay.
Right, the thing falls down. He starts furiously typing into this teleprint machine. Sorry. Somebody's trying. I just need to throw them out.
Is Jeremy alright?
Whoa!
Jeremy comes in and the wall goes literally behind him. Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Is there sand on my shoes?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You'd have been fine.
Oh, you're not there. You're not.
You can see him in the
Every now and
distance
again, I'm just
passing
kind of
things through the
looking,
door.
giving a look of, throwing and pulling and hefting a big bag in.
When you look in from the outside with the door open, which you didn't get much chance to do,
You go, oh!
down and up and not as malleable as you may have previously believed. Of immalleable. Right. Okay. So sorry.
It looks like an extra thing.
I've got company.
That bit in Labyrinth
animated.
where David Bowie's walking up the underside of the stairs and stuff.
I've got company. Give me a minute. Right. He starts to again type furiously.
I'm going to show Abe the pocket watch and say, I think this could help
The
someone
pocket watch
find Mount Quaff.
has physically changed as well now. There's little diamonds in the setting. And you never realised the back case came off. It never did up till now. And when you press it, the back case comes off and there's a beautiful dial that does the day to night cycle. And it's literally, it's enamelled, it's gorgeous. The night sky stars are picked out in little crystals. It's gorgeous.
This is on now. This is
Yeah.
powered now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to take my instruments down here.
I can feel it.
Right. Then there is the sound in the distance, the other side of the wall, of 3 loud gunshots. He says, "Take that, you German bastard," and closes the machine. Closes the thing. Oh, sorry?
What's going on? I'm not going to ask that question, actually.
If I didn't see like that happen, I only heard the gunshots, I would probably come bursting into the room
Yes.
with the rifle up.
You do indeed come bursting in the room for the rifle up.
And then fall over. Not a good way to entering this room with a weapon with the safety on.
Right, and he closes the thing. Take that, you German bastard.
Suddenly,
Don't worry, it was a really long way away. Seriously, these people.
It was on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, clearly not.
Who do they think I
sling the
am?
rifle back over the shoulder and...
Who do
Yeah,
they
it
think
looks-
they am? I'm not a fucking amateur.
It
What are you
looks like it's
saying?
changed quite a bit. So, yeah, I'm guessing... And I don't know what Mount Quaff is.
Like the seat of the previous chair of the Albertine, the seat of correspondence.
Oh, yeah, the tradition chair
Yeah.
thing.
It's the essential nexus flex point of all of
Everything.
space,
Everywhere.
effectively.
Everywhere,
Oh,
sorry.
right,
Not
I know
everything,
that.
everywhere.
It's like the origin point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's 0,
Yeah.
0. It's the origin, it's nexus, it's the middle of everything and the end of everything.
Yeah.
And the beginning of everything.
The beginning and the
Simultaneously.
end.
Yeah. There. I found it.
Weren't those
I'm
what those
reformatting-
runes were?
I'm reformatting it for, like, modern usage, because there's only so many donkeys I can put up with, to be perfectly honest with you. Like 4. I think they can
show
keep 4
Alan
donkeys.
the
That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Can I
That
show
sounds
you
about
Alan
right.
the sketches of the runes that were on my arm?
Oh, yeah, the beginning and the end. Yeah.
Those were on my arm
Oh, that's interesting.
in a dream with lightning. He says knowing it sounds like nonsense even to him.
However, he's
Probably
in a
massively
room
important to Alan, maybe.
He holds...
that doesn't
And there was a... What was the... Oh no, I never saw what the other end of the weapon
No.
was, did I?
He holds his hand out to you. Can I have a look? Right, he holds onto your wrist and goes... That's brilliant. You're going to love it. It's brilliant. Anyway, where were we?
Something like...
Seriously, no, you're going to love it. I promise you. It's brilliant.
Okay.
So,
But 4 donkeys isn't unreasonable. I mean, they've been there for centuries. That's fine, right? And also, no pulling of the thing. These donkeys are getting a
when
nice
was
field.
that?
Now.
Now?
Yeah, and not.
No.
Oh, no, you mean
Was it
what you
now?
saw? Was
Yeah,
not now. No,
yeah.
that was...
The illusion.
was 1921?
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Time in there is a little messed, to be honest. Yeah.
Not just
And you
time.
don't always depart from where
When you started.
it started, yeah.
Next, I would just ask one thing.
Yes.
Please don't close a corridor while I'm at the other end
Oh,
of
it's
it.
been fine. You'd have worked out how to open it by yourself. You're fine.
given a few centuries.
Yeah, but you'd be
Which
fine.
Mary I
Yeah,
had.
but you'd be fine there till you did.
Turn
But no,
around,
but-
Sure.
back out.
But the donkeys are not pulling the thing anymore. I'm going to make a nice field. I'm going to put the donkeys in the field.
Yeah, but sure. Let the donkeys relax.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit harsh to make them do all that
Exactly.
work
They
for
don't really need it.
centuries.
Exactly. So I'm going
And
to put them in a
it's-
field, but I'll keep 4. I think that's reasonable. The rest of the donkeys maybe need to be sent to the mortal world where they can be donkeys again. It's just not fair to keep them. But yeah, I'm going to reformat most of the rest of it though, because I just can't use it as it is.
Well,
We need
obviously.
to remake all the modern corridors. Also, it's not really actually linked up, and also, realistically, how often do you need to get to Constantinople in a hurry, and how long often do you need to get to DC in a hurry? There's better ways of using the routes, I think. Anyway,
DC?
go kill the Nefandi, come back, and then we can talk about it.
Wasn't one of the...
Indeed, was linked.
Well, and also the heads
That's
of the
their
Technocratic
heads, yeah,
Union
I
are in
suppose.
DC,
I
at least at the
suppose.
moment, because
I
it's nice and
suppose.
far from the war zone, and they're all a bunch of bastards. You didn't hear me say that. Norway, yeah, we good?
I think so. Judith, did you have anything else to say to the rest of us, or?
No, I think we're all right. Well, it's kind of weird because we've met and not met. This is a little strange.
Most of them are not met.
Look after him.
Yeah, but I've met.
Seen us.
No, but I've also sort of. I think.
Oh, you mean like in our previous
Yeah, I
incarnations
think
when
I've
we all
met
did battle together?
previous versions of you, and it's a little odd that I've missed you all this time round.
Right.
Kind of sad.
Which one was he?
Hmm?
Which one was he?
He's my brother, obviously.
No, but which one? He's like like lightning guy, and I'm
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one-eyed guy.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Who's this guy?
We're Freya and Freya, obviously.
Okay, and I'm guessing about that one over there.
Is it? Who was the smith? No, I don't know.
You're bragging, my friend. The storyteller.
Right. Okay. We'll need like notorious liar and stuff. No.
No, that's mostly
Creative.
That's mostly
Oh.
Christian propaganda.
Oh, okay.
Like the lightning guy.
I'm guessing that'd be Thor. You don't know that much.
Just, oh, you spoiled it. You told him.
Sorry.
I would have waited till he got the hammer.
I
It would have
was
been
naughty.
No.
I
If
didn't
you
drink,
remember,
was Louis?
when I was doing some research, we discovered that there were a cabal who probably took on the appearance and names or
Tyrion is just
inhabited
laughing
that
to
existence
himself.
for a while of the gods
What else do we
of
need?
the Norse pantheon.
What
I
else
was
do we
Odin.
need? He
Well-
says to you suddenly,
Well, like I say, as long as all the stuff's fine to go.
you should have let him
Hey,
find the
look,
hammer.
we're in here. Nothing makes sense right now, so let's just embrace the crazy and
Nothing
go
made
for it.
sense before we came in here.
These guys have all been a bit pessimistic, but I'd like to think that there might be, if we could have a way back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's entirely reasonable. So let
I
me
asked
go
about
fishing.
escape routes.
And I think you should
Yeah.
Not
give.
from the room.
I don't think
No,
we
no,
should
from-
have a way
yeah.
back through here.
I think having a way back through here would be a really bad idea because
I don't think we
things
should
go
have a way
wrong.
back
If things go wrong, we don't want him
Yeah.
having a route through here. And if things go right,
We
then
can get a plane
Yeah,
back
but-
whenever.
I've been in Norway before. We can
I don't
make
know.
it-
I can imagine the situation being.
We
But-
know
We'd
locals.
have to
I
get
can,
to-
as it were. He
to
says,
get
I
to the
don't.
coast.
We managed to get out there
Or to
quickly.
Sweden.
Hey, look.
I need to
If
stay
we
here.
survive, I don't care.
I need to stay here for the work that I do. That doesn't mean I can't move things that are remote to me at other remote locations.
Okay.
There to London with no one noticing or spotting the back doors is fairly unlikely. But I can probably get you from a not very safe place to a nominated safe place from where you could be picked up, for instance.
Sure.
So the intelligence reports from Norway actually pass me that map.
Also, might be a.
The map
might
was
be a
attached to the
bad
wall,
idea.
but if you go to move it, it just comes. And it just sort of floats over, and so okay, right. He reaches in his pocket and pulls out a bunch of dice
Okay.
and rolls them on a thing, and they all
How
sort
many
of.
sides on the
They're
dice?
just 6 ones. So they go clunk, 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 clunk. Right. Okay. So
He's got D20s, you know.
right. So the
He's got
Right.
D93.
Yeah. It's like
So-
a weird.
Somehow it
yeah,
works.
Yeah, and it rolled a 172.
so we've got a resistance cell.
The square root minus one.
So we've got a resistance cell that are in regular contact with two of the agencies in London there who are getting drops, so we could send you back there. This
that-
over here...
Is that near those locals?
No, that's more towards the Swedish border. But so this is a resistance cell, but they're pretty well buried, and we could probably just port you to them. I could send you to Wolfsholm, which on one side safe, on other side really
Right in
long
the middle
walk
there.
back. Or we could try. Ooh! This might be a good plan. So off of here, there's a fishing village, but they're actually running stuff back and forth across the North Sea for us.
Oh, that sounds like a good one.
So we could get you there, and either we could come and pick you up, or we could do a meet in the middle of the sea. We've been shipping in supplies and that kind of thing that way, radios.
That sounds like
Okay,
a good one.
that sounds
Yeah.
like
Not to be moved
No,
to
we're
the
not-
middle of the sea just because it's
Oh,
a bit risky.
No.
I'll move you to the
To a
village.
village,
Yeah.
and then we go on.
Then
the
you
sea.
get on the boat.
Yes, we get on a boat.
Sure,
Gonna
on the
say-
boat.
Rather than like in a resistance cell
You're
or
an
in the middle of
etherite, you're the
nowhere.
bright ones.
Yeah.
Right, everyone's got their stuff, right? Everyone got their...
It's like there's like a pre-packed pack.
For you.
Oh, hey, thank you.
There we go. Don't die, and then because we need to sort out that mountain business. And oh, don't get the bastard the watch, whatever, though. Watch? Nope, not for him.
Should I leave it here?
No, I
Okay.
think you need it.
Okay.
Right, so, everyone
Kind
ready?
of eye-shaped.
No.
The
It's too
diamonds
big.
aren't in like an
No,
eye
they're
pattern
not.
or anything. Okay.
It's a bit too big. Right, okay, so, Norway.
Jeremy's lost it. He's wearing his watch over his eye.
Right, he
Jeremy,
gesticulates
are
at...
you okay?
He gesticulates at a wall that isn't the wall. He gesticulates at a wall that isn't the wall with the current door, and it opens into a forest. To be honest, Norwegian forest in late summer.
I pick up the stuff I'm taking and step through. giving
I just walk.
a nod to.
Ollie's like, just following you straight.
Holding the rifle, wearing the
Yeah.
pack, just walks.
So Ron just walks through, and then you see Ollie coming literally out from the other door,
Ah.
darting across the weird bit and straight out behind Ron through the door.
As I leave, I'm going to say, oh, so we don't need skis.
No, you don't need skis. It's summer.
Like I say, I'll pick up all the different stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've got my tool bags and all the random other stuff in another bag. and
Your
my backpack.
various tools. And, yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm
we
travelling
are
light.
entrusting
Probably the very
this to
small
you.
bag you've packed me out of kindness. And the other stuff.
Before, as we get through, I'm going to say, wait, bad brooches.
Oh yeah. We should
Oh, yeah.
put those
Yeah,
on.
put those
Put them on.
Yeah.
Also,
The Beatles.
he hands you
Yeah.
a little. It looks like a little. It looks like a small metal replica of a fish. It's not like a particularly realistic one. It's just a little metal fish, like the sort you get that someone's got pocket knives in for taking fishing. That's what it looks like.
All right. Then how's that work?
We'll just flip up the knife, and then I'll know you need to be in a fishing village.
That seems completely appropriate. It's good. Yeah, I like it.
Thanks, Alan.
It's all about the sympathetic
It's
connection.
been very nice
Sorry to take it
to meet you.
Again.
It's been a great pleasure.
Sort of salutes as he
And I
leaves.
assume I'll see you.
Yes, again, definitely.
Again.
Bye. Nice
It
comedians.
salutes as he leaves. That's what Ron did.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
starting to get my bearings on the other side.
Yes.
And I think we should call it there. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
we are
already
calling
gone
it there.
to-
Yes,
yeah.
I know it has gone 10. So, yes, we should call it there. And you have gone to Norway.
Yay!
I
Cool.
think this one should probably not be called Norway. I also feel this one should not be
Forget
called Bletchley
Norway.
Park. I think this should be called, like,
Somewhere else.
elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Anyway.
I like that. Cool. Okay.
So I did it again.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for watching episode 9 of Masters and Monsters. Elsewhere. We hope you enjoyed that one. That was a lot of fun. Sorry, I had to step out briefly. My son was not getting to sleep. Anyway, please don't forget to check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please go and check out our Discord and our Patreon. Everyone who helps us by supporting the channel makes it a little bit better for everybody else with all the kit and equipment and
Yeah,
etc.
all of it's wonderful.
Yes, it's great. And yes, don't forget to check out Flint and Steel and all of our other shows.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Thanks, Roger. And
Waste of
we'll see you next time on Masters and Monsters. Bye-bye.